Hello everyone. So after ending with the discussions of our all cranial nerves, so we are in the section of our plexuses, that is the spinal nerves, which is in the region of our whole vertebral column. So the spinal nerves actually innervates our peripheral regions of the body. So it is also divided into five segments, and as we know that there are 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So the first segment is the cervical segment from C1 level to C8 level. So it has 8 spinal nerves. Thoracic segment has 12 spinal nerves. Lumbar segment has 5 spinal nerves, and your sacral also has 5 pair of spinal nerves, and the coccygeal has 1. So by adding all that, we have 31 pairs of spinal nerves. So by the coming next videos, we will discuss about all the plexuses, all the four plexus: first cervical, brachial, lumbar, and sacral plexus. So by that, we will divide all the nerve supply of our peripheral regions of the body, and abdominal and the thorax region of our body. So let's begin first with the cervical plexus. So cervical plexus is formed actually at the level of your C1 to C4 level of cervical segment, but some fibers from C5 also included in this plexus. So if anybody asks, so the correct answer is C1 to C4 segment, but some branches joins from the C5 root also. So let's start with the scheme of our cervical plexus. So let's C1 plus C2, C3, and C4 and C5. So first let's begin with our C1 root. So C1 root firstly gives the branch which goes forward forms the superior root of our ansa cervicalis from the C1 root. And one our cranial nerve, that is hypoglossal nerve, actually the 12th cranial nerve goes along with, not joins, goes along with the C1 root, and from C1 root one branch arises, and this hypoglossal nerve, the 12th cranial nerve, and the branch from the C1 root go together in the sheath. This is the sheath, and from there both the branches divides and goes in the different paths. So the hypoglossal nerve actually supplies your tongue muscles. We have discussed in our previous hypoglossal video. And the branch which is coming and from the C1 root and joining the, not joining, going along with this hypoglossal nerve, actually supplies two muscles. First one is your genoid muscle, and second one is your thyroid muscle. So genoid actually elevates your hyoid bone, and thyroid depresses your hyoid bone. So the branch from the C1 root goes and join, and here hypoglossal supplies your tongue muscles, extrinsic and intrinsic tongue muscles. So this is actually the include of hypoglossal nerve, how it is connected with the C1 root, C1 spinal root. So now this is your C2 root. So now C1 along with the C2 root give some muscular branches to our deep neck muscles. So first muscle is your rectus capitis anterior. Second muscle is your rectus capitis lateralis, and third one is your longus colli. So these are the prevertebral muscle or the deep muscles of the neck. Rectus capitis actually it is used for the anterior flexion of the neck. Lateral is used for the lateral flexion, and longus colli is also included in the flexion of neck. And some muscular branches also are included here, and the joins actually with the 10th pair of cranial nerve goes further together with the some muscular branches. So this is the 10th pair of cranial nerve. It also goes like the hypoglossal in a sheath. So some muscular branches also go from here, muscular branch. So this was your C1 and C2 root. This branch, both the spinal roots combines and gives branches to this muscular prevertebral muscles of our neck region. So now let's include our C3 root also. So from C2 and C3 root together, C2 and C3 root together forms the inferior root of our ansa cervicalis. So this is the superior root, and this is your inferior root, and this whole is your ansa cervicalis. And now see which muscles are supplied by this curve root as ansa cervicalis. So first branch is your omohyoid superior belly. These are the infrahyoid group of muscles. And next one is your sternothyroid first, according to the sequence. And these are from the superior root actually, and sternohyoid. So these are the infrahyoid group of muscles. Omohyoid actually depresses the hyoid bone, and sternothyroid actually depresses your thyroid cartilage, and sternohyoid also same depresses. While you're swallowing the food, these muscle actually depresses the and helps the deglutition of food. So from the inferior root, one muscle, that is the omohyoid inferior belly. So this was the ansa cervicalis. So now from C1 and C2 root. So this is your from both the C1 and C2 root. One sensory branch arises to the forward side, and this is your greater auricular nerve. So by the name it is clear that it supplies the posterior part of your ear, or the region above your parotid gland. So the skin actually around your ear, and below the ear or above the parotid gland. So this comes actually from the forward side, and from backward sides one nerve arises that is called as transverse cervical nerve, and this actually supplies the skin of your anterior region of the neck. So this was the two sensory branches of cervical plexus, and the one is only from the C2 root, and one branch comes from the C2 root, and it is called as lesser occipital nerve. Some say it also joins the fibers from C3 root, but in maximum book it is only from C2 root of spinal nerve this nerve arises. So it actually supplies the scalps of your occipital region, or the scalp or the occipital area, and the posterior region of the neck, or the lateral side of the neck, skin around the lateral and the posterior region of the neck. So this is supplied by our lesser occipital nerve. So this was the sensory roots from here. So now include our C4 root also. So now combining with the C3 and C4 root, one cutaneous nerve arises, and that is called as supraclavicular nerve. And this is superficial nerve, supraclavicular. This actually supplies the skin above your clavicle. It is very superficial nerve, and supplies the medial part of your deltoid also. So this actually arises from C3 and C4 spinal root. So this is the sensory branch. Now including C3, C4 and C5 fibers. So now including the nerve arises including fibers from your C3, C4 and C5, we get a nerve called as phrenic nerve, which goes to your diaphragm. So it is a motor branch, and it supplies diaphragm. Diaphragm is a muscular layer. So it is actually this diaphragm actually helps during our inhalation. So if damage to our C3, C4, right, C4 or C5 root, all these three roots, so there will be a problem with our inhalation, respiratory inhalation. So this was the phrenic nerve. Now some branches are deep branches of our neck muscles are there. So these actually arises from C2, including C3, C4 and C5, and this actually gives branches to your longus capitis and longus colli, two deep muscles in the neck, and these are included in the flexion of the neck, in the region of your neck. So capitis, it is clear with the skull, and the colli, it is a deep muscle of your neck. So, and two more muscles from our C3 and C4 root. So from C3 and your C4 root arises two muscles, and muscular branches goes to the two muscles of our neck, that is scalene scalene muscles, and your levator scapulae. Levator scapulae. So scalene muscle is actually also used in the flexion of the neck and during your forced inspiration. This muscle is helpful during our forced inspiration. And levator scapulae actually elevates your scapula. So these muscular branches arise from C3 and C4 roots, and for the longest capitals and colli, it arises from C3, C4, C2, C3, C4, and C5. So these are the muscular branches for these muscles. So now we are left with the transverse cervical nerve. It's done, and levator scapulae. So one more point is linked with our accessory nerve. What happens is that the fibers from our C2 and C1 and C2 root, the motor fibers, it is joined by our spinal root of our 12th cranial nerve, that is accessory nerve. Accessory nerve, motor fibers, and C1 C2 spinal roots of motor fibers joins and supplies the muscle to your sternocleidomastoid muscle. Sternocleidomastoid muscle. And now fibers from your C2 and C3 root actually joins together with the accessory nerve again, and supplies your trapezius muscle. So not only accessory nerve fibers is included, the fibers from the C2 and C3 was also included for the supply of our motor innervation to our trapezius muscle and the sternocleidomastoid muscle. So this was actually the motor and the sensory roots of our cervical plexus. So hope this was full, and just go through the overview. It will be clear, and this is the basic concept of our cervical plexus. Thank you.